Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. Purplatypus is the name, and today we are talking about Shin Megami Tensei 5. It is almost here. We are about a week, about 9 days out, I think. I think it comes out on the 14th. I am so hyped for this game. I was kind of hyped for it, and the closer we get, the more hype I'm getting, especially now that I've seen this isn't just a re-release. They are like doing a ton to make this even if you've played the game before, this is something you might want to purchase again, which I'm going to 100% because I already have. Also, I'm hoping to get a review code. But without further ado, let's jump into the 5 things. So they just have this video. First, can I just say, her sandals are actually little anvils, and I just thought that was kind of cool. They released a 13-minute video going over 50 changes for this game. 50 sounds like a lot. Obviously, they're not all major changes. However, a lot of them are major changes. So let's talk about them. Number one, the thing I'm most excited for, probably one of the biggest changes. They added an entire additional standalone story. So if you have never played the game before, you could buy this game and you could play the Canon of Creation, which is going to be the original story. It's basically going to have most of the features of the new game, but not quite all of the features. You could say that's probably the lesser version, but basically what they wanted to do, it sounds like, is they just added a second story to the game, completely standalone, basically an alternate path through the game, where humans can help you in combat, and there's all kinds of things that they've added. But if you're like me and you've played the original, or you've played SMT 5 on the Switch, then you're going to be able to play a whole brand new story, as if it's basically just having the combat system in a brand new game in a lot of ways. So, that means new bosses, new pacing. I assume the areas are going to be mostly the same. It's going to be the story beats that are different, but I am super excited. This is going to make the game feel so fresh. Like, it's going to feel like a whole brand new game because it effectively is. So, a whole additional story. Let's go. Now, one of the things I'm most excited for, I have a few timestamps here that I'm supposed to keep track of. It was 7:55. Boop, 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 boop. Is every single demon now has a unique passive skill. So, but demons were already unique in the sense that they had like their own skill potential. They had their own kind of stat layout, their own resistances. They also had every now and then you could find a demon that had a unique skill, right? But now every demon, every single one, they said, has 270 passives. Every demon has its own passive. And now, one, I love that for team building because I love adding flavor to demons. No other character is going to have this ability. Now, I'll be honest, I can't read what this ability does. But if you really like this ability, this will give you a reason to quote unquote over invest in a unit or something, or to bring a unit that is on the lower end of the base level into the late game because you might really like this unique skill for your team. I love adding flavor to demons in that way. But besides that, also there are going to be combinations. Like, they gave an example here where there was 3 different guys with 3 different fire themed passives, and if you had them all on your team, they would actually like unlock a new super ability or something like that, and their passives would stack. And so they showed like the protagonist doing a fire attack, and the one screen it did 300 damage, the other screen did like 700 damage, right? So like this adds a lot to potential team builds, and I think most players are going to be most excited for the new story, and I'm very excited for that too, maybe the most, but not really. This is what I'm most excited about. I love this kind of stuff. I love when Pokemon have unique passives. That is my shit. Specific demon interactions for new ultimate abilities. I kind of gave it a little bit. I kind of talked about it a little bit. Let's play it for 2 seconds because this is right afterwards. So now you can see beyond the passives, there's also sometimes you just put certain demons in your same party that they will unlock a certain like combination skill. I don't remember what the Megatsuhi skill is. I'll be forgive me for the pronunciation. So I don't remember exactly when you can activate these, like the mechanics of it, but it is clear that different combinations of monsters will gain access to new powerful abilities, whether they're buffs, healings, attacks, yada yada yada. So now beyond, you're already had a lot of interesting decisions when making a team based off their resistances, their attacks, their the skills they could learn, just wanting to fuse new things, right? So you had all these things you were thinking. Now you also take into consideration passives. Now you also want to take into consideration specific demon interactions with each other. Like, it's like maybe Archangel is insane, right? He's like super good, but this other angel is like not that good. But maybe you want to run that other angel anyway. Maybe it's just called Angel, because their combination skill is so good. So, you know, by running Archangel, maybe you're actually kind of taking up 2 slots in your team, and maybe, you know, so it's like a lot of like things to juggle and consider. Very, very fun, cool, in-depth team building. It seems like they've really doubled down on an emphasis on building interesting teams where you have to make a lot of fun decisions, which I'm very, very excited for. As my favorite part of a monster collecting game, essentially, is building the teams, coming up with a team idea, a team identity. You come up against a boss that absolutely slaps you and you have no choice, and then either, you know, sometimes you could just level up and brute force it. Other times you're like, you know what, I'm gonna reinvent the wheel here. Not really, but you know, it's like, all right, this guy does wind attack, then lightning attacks or something. I'm gonna have wind resistance, and then I'm gonna switch in between with this character to have lightning resistances, so I don't have weaknesses to it. Then I'll have maybe a healer for the lightning attack because I don't have as many lightning resistance. Like, you get to go through and kind of deconstruct the boss's mechanics, and that's one of my favorite things to do in a game like this. One thing that is a little bit smaller, but I remember this specifically in my version of the game here when I was playing it. Is this it? It's gonna be right here. Is they added like basically internal fast travel to different points. I just remember running back and forth a lot and being annoyed, and so this is not as big as the other ones here, but they're basically adding these cool rails so they'll help you get around to areas faster. I saw this and I'm like, I like quality of life stuff. Not everything needs to be a expansion level of content. Sometimes just nice little quality of life stuff is so good. Also in the quality of life stuff, they add a lot more filters and a lot more auto battle options and a lot more. There's like so many little things that are all going to add up for a overall higher quality of life experience. Check 1 2, making sure I don't have a voice changer on. Sometimes I forget. And also sometimes in voice mod like updates, it'll just like turn on and it'll be on a random voice changer, but maybe that's my settings, I don't know. But these kind of quality of life stuff is, yeah, it's not sexy, but it is going to make your whole experience of the game way more fun. Also, so maybe one of the this game, they're doing such a fucking good job here. So this says you could raise characters up to level 150. That's true. We're going to talk about that in a couple seconds here, because there's this really, really important thing regarding that as well. 1242. So extreme difficulty is a mode that is unlocked after fulfilling certain conditions. Who knows? Maybe it's just beating the game. Maybe it's something else in addition to beating the game, right? But basically, when activated, the level of all enemy demons is raised to 150. It just doesn't strictly say it's a new game plus mode, but this is primarily, it sounds like to me, a new game plus mode. So you'll be able to raise your characters up to level 150. You'll be able to, there's also endgame dungeons. Like, this is why there's so much, right? They added more post game with more boss rush challenge modes, things like that. So there's just a lot more content in the end game. And then they add a new game plus mode where all enemy demons will be raised to level 150, which is the level cap. Meaning you get to play the entire game on like a super ultra hard mode where you really get to put your team building and the demons you've built to the test, right? Like you can't get a level advantage anymore. And enemies that you used to be able to, like sometimes early bosses in video games are the hardest because you have the least amount of tools to deal with them. But also sometimes, yeah, you don't have as many tools, but you could just out level them and then you could trivialize them because you're just 15 levels above them or something, right? In this, this is gonna give you a new way to experience those bosses, because you're gonna have a lot of tools, but you can't out level them. So they're going to be on par with you, and maybe even boosted in other ways. Who knows? But this is like giving you a really fun, interesting, cool way to play the game a second time. So maybe if you're a hardcore player, you play on the one story mode first, and then you unlock the 150, then you go play on the other story mode. You could probably do that. I'm probably going to stick with the Vengeance one just because it's the new thing with all the extra features and whatnot. It feels like the real reason to play the new mode, the new version of the game. But this adds so much content. On top of endgame bosses, endgame boss rush modes, like challenge modes, new game plus modes, an entirely new storyline. I mean, this is a fully repackaged brand new version of this game. There's just no way around it, right? It's like, yes, the characters are going to be the same. Yes, the demons are going to be the same. But I mean, this is more different between this is going to be more drastically different than many of the early Pokemon games were from one another, right? Like between Ruby and then even Diamond or whatever. Like this is like that level of thing. It's just like a new game, right? There's new mechanics. There are new demons. New mechanics, new demons, totally brand new story. The bulk of the combat is going to be the same, but that was my favorite part of the game already. So I was a little nervous about coming back and replaying something I had already played so much, but I have no reservations about this now. I am hyped, and you should be hyped. This game is going to be so good. And you know why? There's certain times I'm excited for a game, and I'll say I think this game's going to be so good, or there's no way this game's going to be bad. I'm speaking out of my expectations or faith or whatever. This is, with certainty, going to be incredibly good. You know how I know? Because multiple years ago, I had already played it, and it was fucking incredible. I didn't even mention, maybe what I'm most excited for, this is on Steam, man. Let's see if I bought it yet. Let's open Steam. Oh no, my sex games. Shin Megami Tensei. I already bought it. I am hoping to get a review code, but here we go. Let's go to the store page. Right, so it's coming to Steam. The biggest issue this game had, and really the only issue the game had, because it was such a good game, is that it ran like shit on the Switch, and it looked kind of garbo on the Switch. Yes, it's not the highest fidelity graphics anyway, but hopefully with Steam, and hopefully, potentially with mods or whatever, you can get like a really nice art style. I just want it to run good. It was so frustrating every time I was running outside and it ran like shit. So hopefully it runs good. It was like the Breath of the Wild thing where the frames would just drop like crazy. Also, this song, I like the song. I'm just excited. This is going to be so good. This is my next major game. I'm going to cover this so much in depth. And so if you don't see a video from me for a couple days, it's probably because I am playing it. I hope so. Pray for me. Hope that I get there. Anyway, that's going to be all for today, guys. I want to give one last shout out. Thanks to my members and my supporters. Thank you very much. I moved it to the end of the video here. Maybe I'll move it back to the intro. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of just playing it. I'm just trying different things out to see how it feels with the vibe of the video. But anyway, let me know what you like. If you like this video, let me know if you are excited for this game. And if you are excited, I want you to tell me in the comments, what are you most excited about? All right. Much love. See you guys in the flip-flops. Bye.